Good morning, students. We are dealing with mulberry cultivation. Last time we have explained about the pruning methods in a mulberry garden or in a mulberry crop. So, pruning is the important method or important practice in a mulberry cultivation where we remove the undesired weak or excess number of branches so as to give proper shape and size to the mulberry tree, and this will also help in a optimum growth of mulberry and can provide good quality and quantity of mulberry leaves due to the periodical removal of undesired branches or weak branches or excess number of branches will help in a proper management of the growth and development of the mulberry tree or mulberry plants in the mulberry garden, so that large quantity of mulberry leaves and good quality of mulberry leaves can be obtained from the mulberry garden for the feeding of silkworm larvae of the Bombyx mori. So today we will explain the harvesting of mulberry leaves. So harvesting of mulberry leaves means the removal or collection of mulberry leaves from the plant for the feeding of silkworm larvae and is called as harvesting. So it is simply the cutting or removal or collection of the mulberry leaves from the mulberry plant, and after which these are then uh, collected, then carried in a wet gunny bags and transported to the rearing house for the feeding of silkworm larvae. Harvesting is generally done during the early morning or in the late evening. So this is the time during which there is no much temperature present in the surrounding environment. So early morning or late evening is the suitable time for harvesting mulberry leaves uh, from the mulberry plant, because immediately after harvesting or cutting of mulberry leaves, there is a water loss. So water contents are lost after harvesting. Usually during the high temperature or during summer month, the leaves harvested would dry fast and causing loss of water contents from the mulberry leaves, and this can also lead to the spoilage or damage. There is a withering or drying of the mulberry leaves due to the water loss or the moisture loss from the harvested leaves, and hence usually the mulberry harvesting is done early in the morning. So early morning is the best suitable time for harvesting even than the evening or late evening, because over period of daytime there is much of the water loss or the moisture contents lost during the daytime. Hence the mulberry field remains cool overnight, and during next day early morning the plants or the mulberry leaves will have the good amount of water contents, or the mulberry leaves harvested in early morning are having good amount of water contents in the mulberry leaves. So such leaves are better, much better for the feeding of silkworm larvae. So this helps to preserve the leaves in a fresh condition. So when we are harvesting mulberry leaves in early morning, the leaves will remain fresh for more period of time. Leaves harvested lose water rapidly due to the temperature and results into degradation or spoilage of leaves, and thus leaves should be kept in the wet gunny bags or in the baskets which are lined with a wet gunny cloth. The harvested mulberry leaves are stored in the wet gunny cloth, and where uh, there is a maintenance of cool condition in the storage or in the wet gunny bags or in the baskets which are lined or covered with a wet gunny cloth. So this will help in keeping leaves in a fresh condition for the feeding of silkworm larvae. So after harvesting, leaves should be stored in the wet gunny cloth, either in a baskets or the gunny bags, to avoid drying of leaves and loss of its nutritive value. So ultimately, this will avoid drying of the leaves and also the loss of its nutritive value or nutrients. There are three methods of harvesting mulberry leaves, such as leaf plucking method, branch cutting or whole shoot cutting method, and bud plucking method. So these are the three methods of harvesting mulberry leaves can be adopted for the collection of the leaves or harvesting of the leaves uh, at the time of feeding of silkworm larvae in the rearing house. So we'll explain these three methods of harvesting one by one. So this is the image uh, showing well developed or well flourished mulberry plant with a good amount or the good quality of its foliage, or the soft succulent or tender leaves. Such type of leaves can be fed to the young stages of silkworm larvae in their early development or in the early rearing methods of the silkworm, that is first second instars can be fed onto the mulberry leaves which are of this type, very soft or succulent, fresh, uh, good quality leaves, fresh or fleshy leaves are used for the feeding of the early instars of the silkworm Bombyx mori. So the first method of harvesting, that is a leaf plucking method. In this method, only leaves are plucked from stems and branches either by using fingers or by using the leaf plucker or cutter or by hand at random. So we can just sweep the mulberry branch of the mulberry tree by hand, and can just sweep the hand over the leaves onto the branches, and the leaves can be harvested or plucked up at random by hand, or we can use the fingers also. So usually the leaf plucking method or leaf harvesting method is used for the feeding of silkworm larvae in the early development of larva or the silkworms, that is first or second instar larvae or third instar larvae, which are small and their requirement of the feed or the mulberry leaves is also less. Or the leaf plucking method can also be adopted when we use the self rearing method in the rearing house, or self rearing method can be adopted for the rearing of the early instars, that is first, second or third instar in the rearing house in the self rearing method. And the fourth or fifth instar stages or the late phases of development of the silkworm larvae, that can be grown or that can be fed onto the directly onto the shoots or the branches, where the floor method of rearing silkworms can be adopted. So in a leaf plucking, the leaves or the leaf can be plucked up from the base of leaf blade or lamina, or with a stipule by using leaf plucker or fingers we can cut the leaf with a leaf blade as well as the stipule. So with stipule and without stipule, leaves can be cut or harvested either by fingers or by using leaf pluckers. Then when the requirement of the leaves is more in the rearing house for the feeding of larvae, at that time the leaves are plucked up simply by using the hand. So by hand at random we can pluck the birds, or we can pluck the leaves from the branches. So by hand at random plucking can also be adopted, and where the leaves can be cut off with blade or without, with only leaf blade, with a stipule or without stipule. So leaves can be harvested at random, or leaves can be cut at random from the branches when we use to the hands directly, so as to sweep the entire branch of the mulberry tree, so as to pluck the leaves from the branches or the stems. So leaf plucking, that is removal of leaves with stipule or without stipule, by using fingers or the leaf pluckers, or the random plucking by hands. So usually random plucking by hands is adopted whenever there is more requirement of the mulberry leaves in the rearing house for the feeding of silkworm larvae. Then second method is branch cutting method. In this case, the branches are cut close to the base and silkworms are reared or fed directly on the branches. Usually, the branch cutting or branch harvesting method or whole shoot harvest method is adopted while rearing silkworms in the floor method. Floor rearing. There, several floors are made onto the rearing stands, where 2 or 4 or 5 beds can be prepared in a single stand, and where the newspaper or the cardboard sheet can be spread onto the floor, and the mulberry branches or cut branches or the harvested shoots directly kept transversely onto the floor, and silkworm larvae can be fed directly onto the branches in the floor rearing method. Usually, floor rearing method is adopted for the rearing silkworms of the later phases or stages, that is fourth or fifth instar stages. Fourth or fifth instar stages of the silkworm larvae can be grown by adopting floor rearing method, where the silkworm larvae are fed directly onto the branches, which are harvested or cut from the base of the stem or base of the branch. Then third method, that is bird plucking method. In this method, all the birds with young leaves or tender leaves are plucked from the shoots, and this method is adopted for rearing of the young silkworm, that is first, second or third instar stages. So in early development of the larvae, the silkworms are fed directly onto the tender, soft, succulent or the fresh leaves, tender leaves, which are more palatable than the mature leaves. So tender leaves, soft leaves, which are present on the birds or from the tip of the branches, or whatever the birds or the present on the branches or the shoots, that are cut off for feeding of the young silkworm, that is first, second or third instar stages, that is bird plucking. So as to manage the selective feeding of the early instars, the farmers used to bird plucking method for feeding of young larvae or young silkworms, and where only birds from the branches or the shoots are cut off or plucked off for the feeding of young silkworms. This is bird plucking method. Branch cutting and shoot harvest method saves labor in picking leaves and distribution, bed changing and cleaning. So these are the different activities which we will have to practice in the rearing house. That is, after harvesting, the mulberry leaves or branches can be distributed in the floor uh, bed or in the rearing house, and after that, after feeding or after complete feeding, the remains of the branches, that will have to uh, clean the beds, or will have to remove the free branches free from leaves. So remaining material or waste material of the branches which is present on the floor beds or in a rearing house, that should be removed, or bed should be cleaned or changed. So as to cleaning or changing the bed, we'll have to remove the branches or the remaining part of the branches after feeding of the silkworm larvae, where it will become more convenient, or that will save the labor. So branch cutting or shoot harvest method saves the labor in a picking leaves or harvesting of the leaves from the mulberry garden, then distribution of the mulberry branches or the stems for the feeding of the larvae in the floor bed, then bed changing or bed cleaning where there requires less number of labor or manpower. So this is the advantage of the uh, branch cutting or shoot harvest method, where one can save the labor or manpower. This also minimizes the number of trays and cells. When the sericulturist or the farmer adopting floor rearing method, number of shelf or number of rearing trays required or requirement is also less. Since we are adopting branch cutting or shoot harvest method, there is a saving of shelf or rearing trays also. Silkworms are fed on the floor itself on cardboard or the papers, newspaper or cardboard sheets can be spread over the floor bed method or over the floor, and silkworms are fed directly on the floor. But this will require more space, more rearing space is required in the floor rearing method. But this requires large space for the rearing, and the leaves remain fresh for long time. The leaves remain fresh for long time as they are on the branches. When we are adopting leaf harvest method, the loss of water content begins immediately after harvesting. But when the leaves remaining on the branches remain fresh for long time. The advantages of the branch cutting or shoot harvest method. Advantages of the branch cutting or shoot harvest method. The fresh leaves. Advantage, one of the advantage, that is leaves remain fresh onto the branches or cuttings. This will save the labor of 50%, saving of the labor up to 50%, 50% saving of the labor. Then saving of 2 to 3 kg of mulberry leaves for 1 kilogram of the cocoons. So there is a saving of mulberry leaves also, saving of 2 to 3 kg leaves for 1 kg of cocoons. Then better quality and quantity of cocoons is ensured. When we use the branch cutting or shoot harvest method for harvesting and adopting floor rearing method, there is a advantages. There is advantage. The important advantage, that is we can feed the silkworm larvae the fresh leaves. We can feed the fresh leaves to the silkworm larvae. Then there is a saving of labor up to 50%, and there is a saving of 2 to 3 kilograms of mulberry leaves for 1 kilogram of the cocoons. Then we can get the good quality and quantity of the cocoons. So quantity and quality of the cocoon will also be improved due to the feeding of the larvae, silkworm larvae, on the branches of the mulberry Then production of more organic manure. One of the advantage that the cuttings which are not consumed by the silkworm larvae, only leaves are consumed or fed by the silkworm larvae. So, large quantity of organic manure can be obtained. Then reduction in a disease, reduction in a disease. So, due to larger space or the more space used for the silkworm larvae or management of the feeding of silkworm larvae, there is a less occurrence of disease. Disease will not occur because of more space used for the feeding of the larvae. There is no scope for bed changing or cleaning due to more space used or more floor space used for the rearing silkworms. There is no much scope, means the time of bed changing or cleaning is also much longer, means alternate day or 2 days later, after 2 days, after alternate days or after 2 days, we can change the bed and clean the bed in a floor rearing method where the silkworm larvae are fed directly onto the branches. This will offer better aeration and light in the rearing house. So, due to use of floor rearing method, there is a better aeration or proper ventilation and proper or good light exposure to the silkworm larvae in the floor rearing method. So, this is the photograph or image showing several ladies who are in a practice of leaf plucking or collecting leaves from the mulberry garden. So, this is leaf harvesting, we can explain. So, these are the ladies and which might be involved in the collection of the mulberry leaves from the mulberry garden. So, this is just a photograph showing mulberry field or the garden, and on the left side there is a rearing house also. There is a rearing house on the left side. So, this can also help for easy transportation of the harvested mulberry leaves or harvested mulberry shoot or branches, because the rearing house is close to the mulberry garden. So, on the left side there is a mulberry garden, on the left side there is a rearing house close to the mulberry garden, and we can harvest the mulberry leaves, and we can feed the silkworm larvae with fresh mulberry leaves or fresh mulberry branches or cuttings, because of uh, the rearing house which is located close or near to the mulberry garden. So, this is the image showing shoot harvesting. So, these are the two person uh, cutting the branches or the harvesting the shoots or the branches of the mulberry garden. So, this is the shoot harvest method of the mulberry harvesting, shoot harvesting or branch cutting or shoot cutting method, where entire shoot or entire branch or stem cut off for the feeding purpose. And the previous image showing ladies who are involved in the cutting or removing or collecting the mulberry leaves, explaining the leaf harvest method or leaf plucking method or bud plucking method. So, with the help of this image we can explain the leaf plucking method of harvesting or bud plucking method of harvesting, and in this diagram we can explain the shoot harvest method or branch cutting method. So, this is also a mulberry garden, and the persons who are dealing with the shoot harvesting of the mulberry from the mulberry garden. This is again the photograph representing the two strips on either sides. So these are the two belts where there is a close planting of the mulberry, and in between there is a intercropping. The intercropping may be of onion or wheat can be grown between the two belts or two strips of the mulberry garden. So this is intercropping. The diagram showing or photograph showing the mulberry strips on either sides. So this is a close planting and representing the mulberry strips on the either sides. So this is the photograph representing mulberry garden where there is a strip or belt like close planting uh, present in the mulberry field or the mulberry garden. Then there are certain disadvantages of the shoot harvest or the branch cutting method. Since just like advantages, we have explained the advantages of the shoot harvest or the branch cutting method of harvesting, where there is a much saving of the labor, the leaves remain fresh onto the branches, or there is no scope for bed changing or cleaning in the rearing house. So these are the advantages, but there are certain disadvantages also. Initial expenditure is high because in branch cutting or shoot harvesting method, sericulturist has to adopt the floor rearing method, where initial expenditure for the construction of the rearing house is high or is more, because 30% more space is required for the rearing of the silkworm in the floor rearing method. Means we'll have to construct the large sized rearing house for rearing silkworms in a floor rearing method. So for silkworm rearing, 30% or more space is required. So initial investment for construction of the rearing house required is more in the floor rearing method or shoot harvest method or branch cutting method uh, when adopting the floor rearing method and branch or shoot harvest method of harvesting or floor rearing of the silkworms in the rearing house. So ultimately there is a more space required or more amount of or more capital or more expenditure is required in the construction of the rearing house. So initial expenditure is high. For silkworm rearing, 30% or more space is required, and during every harvesting there will be a pruning and no material will remain for the replanting. So due to the shoot harvest method, the entire mulberry garden will become clean due to the shoot harvest method or branch cutting method. And during each time of harvesting, there is a pruning or removal of total branches from the mulberry tree, and no material will remain for replantation or the propagation purpose. It is difficult to remove diseased worms from the floor bed. The drawback of this method of rearing or harvesting. Rearing method is floor rearing method and harvesting method is branch cutting or shoot harvest method. So in this method, it is when we are growing or feeding silkworm larvae on a large space on the branches, it will become difficult to remove the diseased or the infected silkworms from the floor bed. Then regarding next point is regarding quality of leaves. Quality of leaves. So after the proper maintenance and management of the mulberry garden, whatever the mulberry crop growing in the mulberry field, that will provide the mulberry leaves. So the mulberry leaves or the leaf, which is a dark green turgid or thick, soft and thick with a good moisture contents and high percentage of protein is considered to be excellent. Quality of leaves means poor quality or good quality of leaves can be distinguished by considering these points. So quality of leaf, quality of mulberry leaf can be said to be excellent when the mulberry leaf is dark green, turgid, turgid, soft and thick with a good moisture contents and high percentage of the proteins is considered as a excellent leaf. Such quality leaves yields better silk. Such quality leaves when fed to the silkworm larvae, ultimately the good quality or quantity of cocoons can be obtained. So quality of the silk depends upon the type of mulberry leaves fed to the silkworm. Quality of the silk depends upon the quality of mulberry leaves fed to the silkworm larvae. Then next point is preservation of leaves. So fresh leaves are more palatable because they retains or they stores or they restores or they retains the good quantity or optimum level of water content and the proteins. Fresh leaves are more palatable and nutritious for the silkworm as they contain good amount of moisture and good amount of proteins in them. Therefore, leaves should be kept in the baskets. The leaves should be stored or kept in the baskets lined and covered with a wet cloth. Usually, wet gunny cloth or wet cloth can be lined in the basket or in the box can be called as leaf chamber. In a leaf chamber or in the wooden box which has been lined with a wet cloth in the floor on the sides and also the leaves can be covered by the wet cloth and this will maintain cool condition in the storage basket or in the storage box. So therefore leaves should be kept in the basket lined and covered with wet cloth or leaves should be stored in the wooden frame or the wooden box or the wooden frame container with a size of 1.5 meter by 3 meter by 0.8 meter. So these are the dimensions of the leaf chamber or the wooden frame container or the wooden frame box having perforations or the holes for the aeration or the proper ventilation in the leaf chamber or in the wooden frame container. So leaves should be stored in the wooden frame container or a wooden box with a size of 1.5 meter width, 3 meter length and 0.8 meter height and it is lined and covered with a wet gunny cloth. It is lined with wet gunny cover. It is lined with wet gunny cloth and also covered with a wet gunny cloth after storing the mulberry leaves in the wooden frame container or the leaf chamber. The leaves should be kept loosely while storage or while preservation of the leaves or while storage of the leaves either in the basket or in the leaf chamber or even in the rearing room or a storage room when the intensity or the sericultural practice is on large scale in a large rearing house. At that time we can prepare a storage room or a room, one of the room in the rearing house only for the purpose of storage of mulberry leaves or harvested mulberry leaves and where we can use to a cool condition temperature of the room, entire room, can be maintained below 20 degrees centigrade, below 20 degrees centigrade. So cool condition in the rearing room or the storage room where we can store the mulberry leaves. Instead of using just simply a small basket or a leaf chamber with a limited size, we can use to a rearing room, complete room for the storage and preservation of the mulberry leaves, and where we can also take care of maintenance of cool condition, that is proper ventilation and cool condition in the storage room. So for the preservation of the mulberry leaves, we can use the baskets or the leaf chamber lined with wet gunny cloth and covered with wet gunny cloth, so that cool condition or cold condition or much of the lower temperature below 20 degrees centigrade can be maintained in the storage or in the reservoir. The leaves should be kept loosely and turned for aeration. So upturning, periodic upturning of the mulberry leaves in the leaf chamber or in the basket can be done so as to prevent the rise of temperature, increase in temperature. This can lead to fermentation of leaves due to just uh, uh, keeping leaves in a compact condition. This will increase the heat in the storage of mulberry leaves and can lead to the fermentation or uh, degradation in the nutritive value, degradation of the biochemicals present in the mulberry leaves. So the leaves should be kept loosely and covered with wet gunny cloth, together with regular upturning of the mulberry leaves, so as to facilitate aeration or proper ventilation in the leaf storage. Together with this will prevent the increase of temperature in a just putting the leaves in a compact manner. So this will promote, when there is an increase in temperature in the storage of mulberry leaves, this will increase the heat of fermentation. This will increase the heat and can elicit and the fermentation of the leaves, and this will lead to degradation of the biochemicals like proteins in the mulberry leaves, and this will result into reduction in nutritional value and the palatability also. So such type of leaves cannot be fed much by the silkworm larvae if they are degrading, or there is a degradation in a quality of mulberry leaves where there is a degradation of the biochemicals or reduction in the nutritional value, will ultimately reduce the palatability, and such type of leaves will not suitable for the feeding of silkworm larvae. The ideal condition to preserve leaves is 20 degrees centigrade or less than 20 degrees centigrade with relative humidity 90%. So the ideal condition for the preservation of leaves is temperature below 20 degrees centigrade and high humidity or high relative humidity up to 90%. So 90% humidity and 20 degree centigrade temperature are the ideal condition for the proper preservation of the mulberry leaves. So this is about the harvesting of mulberry leaves and the preservation of the mulberry leaves, harvesting of mulberry leaves and the preservation of the mulberry leaves so as to uh, use good quality mulberry leaves for the feeding of the silkworm larvae. So today we will stop here, and next time we will continue the next topic, that is silkworm rearing. Thank you.